Hello, my friends, and Happy New Year. I hope you've had a wonderful holiday season so far, and I hope 2024 will bring you many special blessings. I dare say that I may be the very last YouTuber to try on the makeup purchase during the November Sephora savings event, but today is the day. As some of you know, my husband and I recently moved across country, and with packing and unpacking, the 2 additional surgeries I had a few weeks before we moved, and my husband coming down with shingles after we moved, it's been a challenging couple of months to say the least. And by the way, if you haven't gotten the new shingles vaccine, that's hard to say, I really encourage you to do so. It's a 2-shot process that provides more than 90% protection and is now covered by Medicare. After seeing the pain and discomfort my husband's experienced and is still experiencing, trust me, it's definitely worth a day of discomfort to get these shots. Well, before we get going with today's topic, I want to say hi and welcome those of you who are brand new to this channel, and say a warm welcome back to those of you who are already part of this family. This channel is geared toward those of us over 50 who want to look and feel our best. Since I'm a makeup artist who is well over 50 myself and who specializes in working with women over 50, I love sharing the makeup tips, techniques, and products that can help us go from good to gorgeous. So if this approach sounds interesting to you, I hope you'll take a moment before we conclude today to subscribe. Well, as you can imagine, due to all the craziness my husband and I have experienced over the past few weeks, I couldn't wait to get back with you and talk makeup once again. So let's get this show on the road. Because most of my Sephora purchases constituted both my husband's Christmas and birthday presents for me, I was able to get a few more products than I usually do, and several that have been on my wish list for quite some time. So I can pretty much do a full face of makeup with these products except for contour and foundation. Well, one item I had to include in the Sephora Savings Sale November order was a restock of my favorite cleanser, Tatcha's Rice Wash. Now, to be honest, in the past I haven't purchased higher-end cleansers because basically all you do is apply cleansers and then wash them off, right? But when I tried a sample of Tatcha's Rice Wash, I was hooked. For me, it's a guilty pleasure splurge that's worth it for 2 reasons. First, it's a cream that turns into a rich foaming cleanser that not only does a fantastic job of cleansing my face, but it also leaves my skin feeling wonderfully soft and hydrated. And you don't need to use much, so this 4-ounce size lasts many months. I can't say enough good things about this product. And by the way, as always, you'll find a list of all the products I'm using today, along with links to them, in the description box below, which you can find by clicking on the word more under the video. And if you use any of these links to purchase a product, I thank you so much because it's a way to help my channel, which I greatly appreciate. Not surprisingly, I couldn't resist a few eye products, so I'm going to try this new 5-pan mini Zendo palette from Natasha Denona and 2 new mascaras. Both mascaras are clean beauty mascaras. One is from Gwen Stefani's new brand Give, and the other from Tower 28 Beauty. I'm always a little hesitant to apply mascaras for the first time in a video since my eyes are easily irritated, but we'll hope for the best with these 2 mascaras. First, I'm going to go ahead and swatch these eyeshadow colors in the Natasha Denona mini palette. As you can see, most of the colors don't go with the top I'm wearing this morning, so I'm only going to wear a couple of the colors, the lightest color and the deepest color. I'm going to take this lightest color and just go across my eyelid with it. It's kind of a pinky peach, I guess I would call it. And the wonderful thing about these Natasha Denona eyeshadows is they apply so beautifully and they blend so beautifully. So I first used this lightest color, and now I'm going in with this deep brown. And I'm just going to put this on the outer corner. And I'm going to build it up a bit. Do you all find that it's easier to put your eyeshadow on one eye than the other eye? I think that's probably true for all of us, and also affects our eyeliner and our mascara application as well. And by the way, one of the surgeries I had before we moved was an eye surgery for strabismus, and it's recovering pretty well, but you still may notice a difference in terms of my eyes tracking, because the recovery period actually goes until the end of February. I had the surgery on October 24th. But I was so fortunate to have an amazing surgeon because it ended up being a very complicated surgery. And I don't think there are many surgeons who could have performed what he did. He was with Mayo Clinic for 25 years, and we were just fortunate that he moved down to the Tucson area where we lived before, because his wife could no longer handle Minnesota winters. Okay, so let's blend out the edges a little bit. I have to confess, I'm very curious about how this sort of grayish green silver might look. So even though it may not go with this outfit, I'm going to use just a little bit of it just to try it out. And I sprayed it with a little setting spray so it wouldn't have so much fallout. I don't know, what do you think? I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I think I'll do the other eye just so I match. I'm going to go ahead and use that darkest color as eyeliner. And then just a tiny bit on the outer 1/3. And I'll bring it up and then just sort of pat it in. And those of you who watch my videos know I have a very specific technique for curling my lashes. And I put a link to a video I did on the best way to curl your lashes. So if you're not familiar with the technique and might be interested, you can check it out. This is a Tower 28 mascara, and I think you can see the really unusual shape of the wand. So I'm going to start at the bottom and just wiggle it through. And as most of you probably know, sometimes it takes a few uses of a mascara to really get a sense of how well it's going to work. Well, this is certainly doing a good job. I'm pretty impressed, I must say. And the brush for the Gwen Stefani mascara is certainly different. It has a ball tip. We'll see how this one works. That ball tip is great for getting the inner corner of the lashes and just the upper part of the lashes as well. And neither of these seem to be clumping, which is really nice. And I'll put on another coat of each. We'll see if it clumps with a second coat. I think that's pretty amazing. Actually, this mascara seems to be quite volumizing. I'll put a second coat on over here. I must say I'm liking both of these quite a bit. I'm going to do a close-up so we can tell if there's any big difference between these mascaras at this point. This is a Tower 28 and this is a Gwen Stefani. And I'm going to use my Clinique mascara as I always do. That's the bottom lash mascara from Clinique for my bottom lashes because it has such a wonderful tiny little wand that works so beautifully to get those bottom lashes without getting mascara all over your skin. Just going to do another coat over here with the Gwen Stefani mascara, and that's helping quite a bit. Wow. Now I'm really impressed. Okay, let's do a second close-up now that I've applied a second coat on the Gwen Stefani side. What do you think? I think these are looking a lot fuller. All right, enough about mascara. For my face primer, I'll be using a sample of Makeup Forever's Hydra Booster Step 1 Face Primer, and then I'll apply a new highlighter product all over my face, which I've had my eye on for quite a while. It's Westman Atelier's Liquid Super Loaded All Over Illuminator Drops with Vitamin C in the shade Peau de Rose. So this is my little primer sample from Makeup Forever, and this is the Westman Atelier product. Oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting this. This color is sort of a salmon color. This will be interesting. Hopefully that's not the way it's going to look on the face. I hope not. It has a fragrance to it, which I'm not liking a whole lot. I have to admit, I'm not one for fragrances. It's pretty strong. Let's see if it dissipates. And by the way, if you're interested in what products are cruelty-free or not cruelty-free, I do include in the description box a list of the products that I use that are not cruelty-free, and unfortunately Makeup Forever is one of them. Wow, this is really a heavy fragrance. Not sure if I would use this again, quite honestly. And it doesn't seem to be dissipating much, unfortunately, either. So now I'm going to go to the Westman Atelier product. And first I had to figure out how to open it. It turns out it has a twist top. And since it's always a good idea to shake products, I think I better do this first. This is a little bit runny, but I think you can see that it's a lovely soft pink color. It certainly does provide glow, and I can smell vitamin C. Interesting. It's not a negative in my mind, but wow, I don't think you need as much of this as I have applied. We are going to be very glowy. That I wasn't expecting. Since I don't have a brand new foundation or contour, I went ahead and applied my foundation and contour off camera. I used the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and for my contour I used M Cosmetics Terra. And luckily applying the foundation did calm down the glow a little bit on my face. So actually combining that glow product from Westman Atelier with a natural finish product like the Giorgio Armani works really quite well. By the way, the Westman Atelier Illuminator also comes in two other shades, a beautiful peach and a golden bronze. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply Natasha Denona's new High Glam Concealer that I purchased in the shade RN3 Light Rosy. Since I'd heard so many rave reviews from a number of you, as well as other people, about this Natasha Denona concealer, I absolutely had to add it to my cart this time around. This is described as a full coverage crease-proof serum concealer, and it comes in 50 shades. And here's what it looks like. This may be too dark. It'll be interesting to see if it's a good shade match or not. I was debating on a couple different shades. Well, it definitely is the right undertone. It is rosy, and it's a good match. Oh, I'm relieved. Wow, that does cover well. I'm focusing on my age spots, and it's doing quite an amazing job of coverage. This is a really big age spot. Let's give that a try. Quite good. And I've got several down here, so let's cover these as well. It blends easily. It feels really lovely and creamy. Okay, I am impressed. Now, I don't know if this is too thick to use under the eyes, but let's give it a go. Now, unfortunately, I forgot to bring a corrector down to the studio with me, so we're not going to do any color correcting. We're just going to use the concealer. Now, supposedly this doesn't crease, but I have a hard time believing there are concealers that don't crease, so we'll check it out. I'm going to put powder under one of my eyes and then not powder under the other one. I'm using a new powder, which I'll talk about in a little bit, just under the right eye here. Let's take an up-close look and see if we see any creasing under this eye. Now, I definitely wouldn't call myself a blush fanatic by any means, but I somehow ended up purchasing 3 different blushes during the sale. A mini size of Rare Beauty's Soft Pinch Liquid Blush in the shade Hope, which is a radiant finish nude mauve shade, Tower 28's Beach Please Lip and Cheek Cream in the shade Party Hour, and one of Patrick Ta's newer blush shades called She's Giving, which is a vibrant blue pink and is one of his major headlines Double Take Cream and Powder Blush Duos. Let me show these to you. We have quite an array of different colors here. The Tower Beauty Blush is a beautiful lilac, as you can see, whereas we're looking at a nude mauve color with the Rare Beauty Blush. And wow, look at this vibrant color from Patrick Ta. I'll first try the blush from the brand I've never tried before, Tower 28. It comes in 7 other colors besides the one that I'll be trying today. This is a gorgeous, light, creamy blush, and I'm loving this color right now. Since this is pretty sheer, I'm just going to dot it on and then pat it in. I don't think I've ever found a product billed as both a lip and a cheek product that I've used on both my lips and cheeks. I usually just prefer to use it as a cheek product. Oh, that is really a pretty color. It's pretty light, so I think I'm going to apply a second coat. We'll see how buildable it is. Yeah, it is building up nicely. And make sure I blend in the edges here. Oh, I think that's a pretty color. I don't know if this is showing up all that well on camera. Now let me go ahead and try the other two on my other cheek. There are 10 other shades in the Patrick Ta blush line and 12 other colors in the Rare Beauty blush. Now, as most of you know, the Rare Beauty blushes, their liquid blushes, are very saturated and intense. So I always put it on the back of my hand and then use a brush to apply it. And here's the color. It's not quite what I expected. It may be a little bit too peachy for me. We'll see. And let's put on a little bit more so you can see it a little bit better. Well, actually, I'm kind of liking this. That's a good thing. I'm liking it more than I thought it would. It's a much more neutral color. Sometimes that's a really wonderful option to go with. Okay, curious what you all think. It's definitely more saturated and intense, so it's showing up better than the Tower 28 blush. Not quite sure about the staying power of that Tower 28 blush, but maybe I'll apply one more layer. I love this color, so I'm hoping that another application will help. And it's maybe the kind of blush where you just have to do several layers and maybe apply some setting spray on top of it. I hope maybe you can see it a little bit better. I think because this Tower 28 blush is so light, I'm going to apply the Patrick Ta blush over it. The beautiful thing about his blushes is you get both a cream and a powder. And he suggests, believe it or not, applying the powder first and then the cream over the powder. And I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite because I already have a cream blush on. So I want to apply the cream on the cream and then the powder over it, and we'll see how that works. Because this blush is very heavily pigmented, I'm going to go ahead and put some on the back of my hand and then pick it up with my brush. If you do not like pink blushes, this is definitely not the blush to go with. Very pretty. And I'm going to put just another layer on just so you can see it a little bit better. And then I'm just going to put the powder over it. And unfortunately, I get my hair mixed in with it. Oh, this is pretty. And what I love about this blush is that it is very long lasting, especially when you apply one on top of the other, whether you apply the cream first and then the powder or the powder first and then the cream. That is very pretty. I have two highlighter options I can use today. Rare Beauty's newer highlighter called Positive Light Silky Touch in the shade Enlighten, which is a cool champagne color, and Hourglass's mini strobe light highlighter in the shade Incandescent. And by the way, the Rare Beauty highlighter also comes in a champagne gold, a true gold, and a rose bronze. And I've heard that these Rare Beauty highlighters can break and crumble pretty easily, so it's really necessary to be very careful with them. The Rare Beauty highlighter is pretty intense and the Hourglass highlighters are much softer. So I'm going to apply one on each cheek so we can check them out and see the difference. And I'm also going to apply the Rare Beauty highlighter on the inner corner of my eye. This is a Rare Beauty highlighter, and unfortunately it's a little challenging to open. And that's unfortunate since it crumbles easily. This could easily go flying. Oh, there we go. And here's what it looks like. Oh boy. This is intense. Whoa. A little goes a long way with this one. And I think the powder is catching on the cream product, so it might be better off applying this over another powder product if you don't want quite as much intensity. But of course you can share it out a little bit. Yeah, I'm just shearing it out with my finger, and that's working pretty well. If you're into highlighter, this may be a great choice. And now just a little bit on the inner corner of my eye. Wow, that is a great inner corner highlighter. That really does a number. Okay, I'm going to soften it just a little bit with my finger. And this is one of the mini strobe highlighters from Hourglass. And a little softer look to this. As you know, I'm a huge fan of Hourglass powders, so this will be fun to try. And I'm just going to apply a little bit. Oh, this is so much softer. And these Hourglass powders are just so indescribably lovely. I don't know what their magic is, but I've never been able to find anything quite like them. Okay, now if I can stop looking at highlighter long enough, let's move on to the last product. And the last new product I have to try today is a mini size of Givenchy's Prisme Libre powder in the shade number 3, which is Rose. And I apologize for my very poor French pronunciation. This mini size comes in 4 other colors, one of which is a shimmer version, and the standard size comes in 5 colors. What's interesting about this powder is that it's described as both a setting powder and a finishing powder. And each of these powders contain 4 unique powders, 2 for color correction and 2 for radiance. And these powders are very finely milled. They supposedly mattify, blur, which reduces the appearance of pores, and illuminate, but have a matte finish. Now, frankly, I'm not quite sure how one powder can do all of these things, but I'm going to apply it all over one side of my face so we can see how it compares to the other side of my face. And here is the packaging. And it comes with this adorable small puff. I'm going to turn it over so I shake a little bit into the top because I want to make sure I get all of these colors. And then we'll apply it on this side. Well, I think it's a little hard to tell on first application. I'm going to have to play with this a lot more, I think. Well, we've tried quite a few products today, and I hesitate to give my thoughts on each of these makeup products since it's really necessary to use each product a number of times before giving a really valid evaluation. But let me go ahead and share first impressions of the products that I feel are the real standouts. I love Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes, but this is my own fault. I don't think these colors were particularly a good choice for me. I don't know what I was thinking when I purchased this, but I love the regular Zendo palette, and I think that's what was driving my purchase of this particular one. I will just have to wear some peach-colored clothing when I try this out because it does have some gorgeous colors in it. I was incredibly impressed with the Gwen Stefani mascara. In fact, as I look at both eyes right now in the mirror that I have here, that mascara is really looking even better than the Tower 28, and I like the Tower 28 mascara quite a bit too. The Westman Atelier Liquid Illuminator is absolutely gorgeous, and it worked very well as an all-over highlighter, and of course you could also use it strategically just in certain areas of the face. I would not recommend the Makeup Forever Hydra Booster Primer if you have an aversion to fragrance. It has such a strong fragrance, and it may just do a great job as a primer, but I just can't get past the strong fragrance. I was very impressed so far with the Natasha Denona Concealer. Even under my eyes, it did quite a good job, but it did a great job of covering my age spots, so I'm definitely going to keep going with that one. Very impressed. I love the color of the Tower 28 blush in Party Hour, that lilac color, but it just doesn't seem to have much staying power. I'll have to try layering it a little bit more and some other options with setting spray and see if I can make it work. I hate to give up on it because I do absolutely adore that color. The Patrick Ta blush is amazing. I recommend his blushes wholeheartedly. It's wonderful to have both a cream and a powder in one compact. And this color, if you're a pink girl, have a cool undertone, is simply gorgeous. And of course you can tone it down by just using a small amount of the product, but it is a pretty vivid color and it is a stunning blue-pink shade. I love Rare Beauty's liquid and cream blushes, and I was pretty impressed with this particular shade, the Hope color, which is a nude mauve. I think it's a nice neutral color that could probably work on most of us. I'm definitely going to be using that again. The Rare Beauty highlighter in Enlighten, which is a cool champagne color, was unbelievable as a highlighter. Very intense. But if you use just a little bit strategically, it can be absolutely stunning. I happen to love highlighters, so I'm going to definitely be playing with that one a lot. But if you want a softer look with a highlighter, this is definitely not the one to choose. If you do like that softer look with a highlighter, absolutely go with the Hourglass Ambient Light highlighters. The Strobe Light highlighters are a little bit stronger than their regular highlighters, but even this one was not anywhere nearly as intense as the Rare Beauty one. It is gorgeous. I've tried a number of Hourglass Ambient Light powders, and I have loved all of them. And frankly, if you're going to purchase just one high-end product, I would recommend an Hourglass Ambient Light powder. It's amazing, and you can get the mini sizes, which are far more reasonable. The Givenchy Prisme Libre powder has received so many rave reviews, but I absolutely need to work with it a little bit more. I'm so glad you could join me today, and I hope you enjoyed today's Sephora sale try-on. If so, please hit that thumbs up like button to let YouTube know. In a future video, I'm going to rank all of my Sephora sale purchases from least favorite to most favorite, because I did get some additional products during the 20% off sale that happened after their big fall sale. And I was a little confused about why they had another sale. But according to one source I heard, it's because they had difficulty with their website during their first sale event. In fact, I think it crashed, and so that's probably the reason why they had another 20% off sale. But it provided a great opportunity to pick up some additional products. In the meantime, do drop me a line if you'd like to receive my weekly newsletter or if you'd like to schedule a Zoom makeup consultation. You can reach me at boomerandbeyondbeauty@gmail.com. I look forward to being with you again next week, and in the meantime, I wish you good health and happiness and hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Take care.